Hi, I would like to start with an activity. I would like you to look at the color of your shirt, and I will show some colors up in the screen, and I want you to stand up accordingly to the color you see on the screen. So please, stand up and look around. So, starting with red. No. Blue. Green. Green. No sirve. Green. And finally, white. So please, look around and look at the diversity there is just in this one theater. Look, because after all, our clothing is a way of expressing ourselves. It is a way of our artistic liberty and how we want others to view us. So imagine that all of a sudden, one day, you have to wear a gray jumpsuit. Now, absolutely, some of us would love it, but most of us would hate it because after all, we want to wear pink, we want to wear yellow, we want to wear blue because we want to be artistically independent. So if we wouldn't let this happen to something as essential as our clothes, why are we letting this happen to cinema? Now, immediately this statement shouldn't or even wouldn't make any sense, right? But I want you to make a mental exercise and think, what movies are in cinemas right now? Now, some of you in this theater might be able to tell me the whole list of movies that are in cinema, but most of us would only recognize those movies that are advertised to us 100 feet in the air. Naturally, it's the movies we see to our commute to work or our commute to school, and you can see the specific genre all of these movies follow. Superhero movies, Marvel movies, and action movies. Now please, do not get me wrong. I'm an avid Marvel fan. As you can see, I'm the one in the back. But as a Marvel fan, I'm also a fan of cinema. And with being a fan of cinema also comes being a fan of balance. I believe that all genres should coexist, especially in something so important to a society as movies. I will show you some examples of the importance of movies and why they are so essential to who we are. To start, on the further right, you can see a movie called Dr. Strangelove, a movie about a dystopian future that dealt with atomic weapons. This movie was so absurd and so ahead of its time that it eventually led to regulations in atomic bomb usage. Now, the movie to the left, you might recognize, it's Schindler's List. This movie shows a raw, powerful perspective of the Jewish Holocaust and truly makes us remember of the atrocities that happened during that time. Movies not only have a political importance or a social importance, they have a historical importance because movies define what we were back then, what we are now, and what we will become. Then, if it is something so essential to who we are, why have we let movies boil down to this single quote? The film industry has a voracious appetite for money. Overall, the film industry could be viewed as a roving predator ever searching for the next victim to suck dry of cash. Have we really let movies boil down to this single, extremely accurate quote? How can we allow this? Well, movies have found their money-making formula. The same simple formula that all movies follow to make money. We have left behind beautiful cinematography, beautiful dialogue to whatever makes us more money. So I go ahead and want to make a new movie, so I start with the formula, 1 part's witty humor, 2 parts blockbuster names, 1 part bad CGI, and boom, you have your very own Marvel movie. So have we really let everything boil down to this single genre? Since 1999, since it released in 1999, The Matrix has defined a turning point since the before and after of movies. That was a turning point where investment firms decided that action movies and Marvel movies were the only thing that made money. Now, I want you to think how important independence is within artists. I want you to think, what would have happened if the Mona Lisa was never painted because Da Vinci could have only painted flowers because that was the only thing that sold? Or imagine if Michelangelo would have never sculpted David because flower pots were the only thing that sold. I want you to make another exercise just to prove my point. I want you to think, who has won the most prestigious film festivals around the world? Who has won the Cannes Film Festival in the past years? Who has won the Festival de Morelia here in Mexico? Who has won the Venice Film Festival? I would even dare to say most of us would not know who has won the Oscars. We put these awards and we put these film festivals as the pinnacle of cinema, yet we know nothing about them. We know nothing about them because they are not worth to be distributed. They're not worth to be advertised because they don't follow this money-making formula. And I personally think that if we're putting these movies as the pinnacle of cinema, we at least should know which movies won. We have boiled everything down to whatever makes us more money. And that is simply not okay because, as I proved, cinema is important to who we are and to who we will become. We have sacrificed beautiful dialogue like in Woody Allen movies, amazing cinematography like in Wes Anderson and Tarantino movies, to whatever makes us more cash. I want you to look at some data. I want you to look at how much independent movies represent the global box office. And as you can see, from 2019 to 2020, there was a 23% drop in what constitutes cinemas right now. And what does this correlate with? The need for more money. The need to stay afloat. Movies, independent movies, and art house movies are set for failure since the moment they are created. Since they don't follow this money-making formula, they're not distributed, they are not advertised, and then, wow, they don't even make any money. 90.3% of art house cinema movies and independent movies don't even get a theatrical release. And those that do, more than half of them don't make any money. But can we really act surprised? I don't think so. Have you looked at any art house movie or independent movie 100 feet in the air? I personally haven't. In the era where advertising is so simple as putting up a TikTok video, we simply do not want to take the risk with our money. I want you to see the difference between Hollywood studio movies and independent movies and their likeliness of profit. Independent movies has almost 12% less likeliness and profit of Hollywood studio movies. Well, of course, how can a $2 million, $3 million movie compete with $600 million, $700 million movies that are distributed and advertised throughout the world? Among all of these facts, what can we do? What can you do? To start, you can sign up for Movie, an independent art house movie platform that is like Spotify. The more you view a movie, the more money that artist gets. And this is a way of making a movie without the setbacks of an economical catastrophe. Next, you can go to GoFundMe and fund some movies or some independent directors that you find interesting. They will put up their script, put up their idea, and if you find it interesting, you can donate $1, $2, or maybe even $10. That can really make a difference. Finally, you can go to Sala de Arte films here in Mexico. Cinemex and Cinépolis have those. But of course, you won't find them in locally or very famous places like Polanco or Santa Fe. You might have to look for them. Am I telling you have to be an art house fan or an independent movies connoisseur? Absolutely not. However, I do encourage you to go beyond what is advertised to you. You might love films or you might hate them, but they are worth your while, nevertheless. I want you to see the untapped potential that most of these movies have. I found this guy on TikTok with 5,000 followers, a single camera, and he goes around the world taking pictures and taking videos. I want you to see how much untapped potential there is and what can we do if we put our money where our money is worth. Thank you very much.